In your arms so tight, you let me know everything's alright. I'm hooked on a feeling.
He crushed it.
I'm high on
It's a grand slam.
but you're in love with me.
I'm telling you, it's time to party.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to SoxHub episode 20, home of the 35 and 34 third place Boston Red Sox. I'm your host, Brandon McAlery, and alongside me is the one, the only, the zesty, lefty, slinger himself, Trotty Too Hottie, aka Matt Trotta. How are you tonight, my friend?
You know how it be, Mac. Living the dream, running at God's frickin' speed. Let's go. The Red Sox won the series against the Phillies tonight in just triumphant fashion. Oh, how about yourself, buddy?
You gotta hit that positivity horn because you already said it. The goddamn Boston Red Sox have won the series for the first time in what feels like forever. And against the best team in baseball, the Philadelphia Phillies. The bats were hot, homers were hit, doubles were absolutely pissing off the monster. Bases were stolen, defense was made, pitches were being thrown, strikes were not being called. That's a story for another fucking time. The Sox are fucking death, baby. The season starts now.
Woo! God damn, the season starts now. And what
Haley's
better
gonna be
time?
pissed at me for that one.
That's okay. She'll get over it. It's called Passion and Heart.
Oh yeah.
And she understands you're a passionate lover, and you passionately love the Red Sox. The season starts now, though. Back to that, no better time to begin than beating the best team arguably in baseball, the Philadelphia Phillies, when we were laying in the coffin, down 4, believe it or not, and they couldn't put us to bed. We came back for the first time this season, down 4 runs. I don't know how the hell that was possible, but goddamn, we did it. And we took that momentum and brought it into a Houck start day when he didn't necessarily have his best, but goddamn, we made it work, and the offense thumped the last 48 hours. And I already said no better time, but I'm going to double down on that statement. No better time for them to do that going into this New York Yankees series in the last half of June here, because indeed, this season starts now with in regard to the strength of schedule.
Amen. And honestly, you had already mentioned, no better time to come back down 4 runs than against the best team in baseball. I had a friend, a coworker who was at the game, and she was sitting the seats that are just right of the dugout, and right below her was Jemai Webster and that little booth and stuff like that. And I had texted her the moment that they went down 4-0. I was like, you could probably just leave. They're not going to come back. And went in. She's like, well, unfortunately, I'm here with my mom, brother. I gotta stay. And as the game went on, I texted her. I was like, I'm so fucking envious of you right now that you're at this game.
It's rare, a 4-run comeback, but the goddamn it, they did it. She picked the right game to stay for the whole entire time. The Red Sox just don't normally get it done in these situations and circumstances, but she brought some extra juju, I guess, sitting right next to the dugout. She sent you a pretty cool snapshot of not only Bobby Dahlback, but David Hamilton, the rest of the defense coming in after a 0 thrown up on defense on the board. And that little clip was pretty damn cool. It was very cool perspective, panning into the dugout after. God darn it, man, is it congested in that motherfucker? Those guys
That's
are
what she
shoulder to
said.
shoulder in there the whole entire time, and there's like not even room to sit. It looks like everybody's standing. It looks like a standard Babe Ruth field dugout.
I mean, that makes me feel good about it, though, because it shows a little camaraderie. There, the boys are shoulder to shoulder, arm around each other, laughing, cheering, grabbing some boobies. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on in that thing. But she even mentioned that she's like, the tough thing in those seats is that you can't see the at bat at all because all the players are standing, so like you can't see the batter. That's a tough thing about those seats. But still sick. You're
that.
right there.
I can see that being frustrating.
She did say, though, so she had a little kid behind him who was like 7. She goes, you would have loved this kid, Brandon. And he was like in between innings, trying to get autographs and stuff like that. Like he asking for balls, all this stuff. And she was with her brother, and her brother turns around to him and says, like, listen, you got to ask after the game because like they're locked in. Like they're not going to say anything. So my friend, I almost said her name there. My friend ended up asking Jemai for a foul ball because a foul ball came right over there. Asked Jemai for the foul ball, even though this kid's been screaming for a foul ball the entire game. Asked Jemai for a foul ball. Jemai throws it up to her because she's like, I'm going to use what God gave me to go get a foul ball, and got the foul ball, handed it to the little 7-year-old. And I was like, you know what? Power move.
Kind lady.
Kind lady. I told her if that was me, I've been waiting 30 years to catch a freaking foul ball. No way. I would have been that asshole.
Not today's sport.
Not today's sport, let me tell you. Well, thirsty Mamba Jamma here today because I am just like gassed up. The game just finished. Game 3 just finished. And let me tell you, that was a bloodbath against arguably one of the best pitchers in the National League, if not the league. And that was just a great, not to jump ahead, but like, that's exciting. You know what I mean? Gives you some momentum going in there. Like I said, offense just explodes a little bit. Tyler O'Neill has been great since coming back from the IL. I forgot Masataka Yoshida was on this team, and then when he showed up, I thought he lost like 4 inches of height. Like he looked shorter than I ever imagined or remembered him being. But it's just nice having him back, and I think once he gets in the grooves, things will be good. They talked about Tristan Casas a little bit. Like I know I said a couple pods ago that like, you know what, I'm not going to live and die here.
You forgot your boy Willie Abreu comes back this weekend at some point too.
That is true. He comes back. They said that he may not need a long rehab stint, maybe one game, maybe no games. We'll see where the road takes him. But like I know I said a couple episodes ago that I was not going to live and die by every game. I'm just going to ride it out and have fun. It is so tough to do that. When you're just invested and you love them, you want to see them win and stuff like that. But when they go and take a series from the Phillies and against Aaron Nola and against Christopher Sanchez, Zach Wheeler, we had no answer for. But like you get excited. You know what I mean? I said I wasn't going to do it, and here I am doing it. I'm bought back in.
I feel you. I'm going to stay relatively level here with what's in front of us, the challenge. This was step 1 in it, and, they accomplished it tenfold when no one was expecting this, especially how they looked after the Chicago White Sox series. This is huge because you're not going to succeed this second half of June if you don't start off on this tougher side of the schedule on a hot streak. And that's exactly what they did. And quite frankly, this is what we anticipated. One of us anticipated last podcast in our preview and little prediction for this Phillies series. If you're going to win, you might win the series 2-1. I would rather lose that first game and provide a little bit momentum going into this Yankees series, the first one of the year at home, with 2 wins on the back end of that 3-game series. That right there, I said the only way we're going to win this Tanner start is if we find a way to win that middle game right there with Pivetta on the mound. They figured that out, and they brought that momentum with the offense into the Tanner Houck start. And then with that, they're proving, hey, Tanner's human. That was his second worst start of the year right there behind that 12th hit LA Angels start.
That's a pretty good second worst start of the year.
You know what I mean? And we provided run support for the man when him and Cutter Crawford are the two individuals on this pitching staff, the starting rotation, that don't necessarily get run support. It's showing that the offense, what they've been doing, it hasn't necessarily been a 1-2 week sample anymore, man. This has been a month plus of what they've been doing as a collective group. 2 months necessarily, if you want to think about it, like a month and a half, realistically. May and June. I saw a crazy stat that like 7 of our 9 offensive pieces have a certain OPS, and we're the only team that has more than like 3 or 4 individuals in that starting rotation, in that starting lineup with that statistic. And I found that extremely impressive. Going into the look of this offense, now that I kind of mentioned it real quick, the last month, man, we have been on a tear. Even the guys that have been, not producing, quote unquote, by the batting average, when you look at their home runs, their RBIs, and their runs, they're being very productive. So I pulled from the last month, so from May 13th to today, June 13th. So
well, I was going to say, before you say that, though, like to that point, I feel like that goes with a lot of like this lineup here, because obviously we're playing without a lot of starters and stuff like that. And there are definitely a couple guys on this team that may not get a lot of hits, but when they do, it's timely hitting. Like that's been my slogan for, I don't know, like a month now, like Little Rafi, Funkle Dom. You know what I mean? He doesn't hit a lot, but when he does, they're usually RBIs.
I think when I say the numbers in the last month alone, you're going to be like, oh, shit.
Probably.
About like what you just said, because this is going to double down on this. I'll talk about the first 2 guys you mentioned then, since you started it, because they're the guys that I categorized as not necessarily hot the last month. Okay? If anything, they're a little cold if you're just going by the batting average. Lil Rafi's batting .219. All right, that's not great. That's a little better than what he's been doing on the year, but
about 7 points better. But
in a month, he's got 4 home runs, 15 RBIs, 14 runs, a double, and 4 stolen bases. You can't complain about that production when he's getting on base at a .219 average. Come on, man. Next, Dom Smith. He's batting a little better batting average-wise, .235. You'd be like, ship him out too. Fuck this guy. But when you look that he has 2 home runs in a month, 15 RBIs in a month, 9 runs and 4 doubles, you kind of change your mind with that kind of outlook here, and you're very grateful that they decided to DFA Garrett Cooper instead of Dom Smith.
Yeah, I was going to say, to that point, not to jump ahead, but jump ahead.
We'll get into that play. I have a lot to say about that. Don't jump ahead to that.
Okay, fair enough. But I will agree with you that if I had to pick between Garrett Cooper and Dom Smith, I would rather Dom Smith right now.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I thought you were going to say Garrett Cooper.
I was like, whoa. Let me finish my thought. Like, hear me out there first.
Yeah, no, Dom Smith.
He provides a little bit more.
He has a vibe to him too. I like him. But the rest of the guys that are, currently playing for the Red Sox, David Hamilton this past month has been batting .350, 3 homers, 8 RBIs, 14 runs, 9 stolen bases, 7 doubles and a triple. Rob Refsnyder's batting .321, 6 doubles. Connor Wong is batting .310, 7 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 2 doubles, 13 runs from the catching position. Borderline platooning with Reese McGuire during that time. Crazy production.
I got to say real quick, hold on, I apologize. I feel like you said borderline platooning with Reese. Tonight might have been, I feel like, the first time I've seen Reese in what feels like 3 weeks. Like, I
think it's been like 10 days.
Yeah, I haven't seen him forever because Wong's been that good behind the plate and offensively and whatnot. But to your point, 13 runs, 2 from the catching position. It just goes to show how athletic Connor Wong actually is. Like, because some of those runs were manufactured or created by him as opposed to, being driven in by a home run or hitting a home run or whatever it was. That's him stealing a couple bases. That's him taking an extra base. Dirt ball reads, being athletic enough to score on a single from second instead of, being held up at third. So I'm a big Connor Wong guy right now. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, he's a stud. But Emmanuel Valdez in this past month, this is since he's been called up pretty much. He's batting 297, 296, 3 homers, 3 doubles, 10 RBIs, 5 runs. Jarren Duran, now we're getting on like they're doing what they've been doing for most of the year, average wise. Jarren Duran's batting 281, okay, but he's got 4 home runs, 4 home runs, 4 triples, 9 doubles, 12 RBIs, 21 runs, 6 stolen bases. You go take a look now at Rafi Devers. It's similar batting average, 277, but he has 9 homers, 3 doubles, 3 triples, 18 RBIs, 23 runs. 2 individuals right there back-to-back that are putting up all-star game worthy numbers. Yes, I said.
I gotta say, like you said, 5 home runs for Duran, 9 triples and 5 doubles.
4 homers, 9 doubles, 4 triples.
If my math is correct, that's 17 extra base hits, or is that 18? The numbers are crisscrossing in my head.
17
extra base hits. Like I feel like every time Duran comes up, it's like it's a double or more or nothing. Like he's either on second base or he's out. Like or third base. Like there's nothing more to it. He either grounds out to second or gets an extra base hit.
That's why they call him the Angry Lizard Man. This guy can fly. This guy can run for his life.
Not to jump ahead, but jump ahead. Did you see the play tonight where he bounced it off the wall and he rounded second so fucking hard, like he was going to take third and then hit the brakes immediately and just went back to second? Yes. I was like, oh, that guy like any excuse to get a freaking triple, he will go and get one. And then you got Valdez, who's like, I want part of this fun. Rafi and Duran's hitting triples, and he's just trying for triples and getting thrown out every time. But, I respect that also. They all want in on the triples. They all want boobies, baby.
They all want to squeeze it. That's all they want to do.
They all want to get up there and just squeeze them boobies and do a little motorboating son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying? They love them boobies up in Boston.
They do. But the rest of the guys on this lineup, they haven't been doing too much. Jamie Westbrook.
I thought that was going.
Jamie Westbrook is batting .143, a homer, 3 RBIs, a run. Bobby Dahlbeck, 167, batting average, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, 3 runs. And then this takes out putting him in this category for what he did tonight with that Mamo shot. But he's batting .224, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 9 runs since May 13th. But you said Tyler O'Neill, but you said something interesting that breaks it down even more post-IL stint, because this includes pre-IL stint a little bit as well, I believe. He's like 7 for his last 15 since he's came back from the IL.
7 for 13 when I took my last note. Forgot what he did in his last at-bat there, so it could, but he's around 5. I'd say, so he's pretty much at 500 since returning from the IL.
That's pretty damn good. So, you can put him up at the top of the list for the most productive, one of the more productive guys in this lineup going into this New York Yankees 3-game series.
Hear me out on this, okay? Call me crazy, but I'm tempted to once T.O. starts cooling off a bit, he's 1 for his last 20 with 14 strikeouts or something. We just fake an IL injury or just let him rest for 3-4 days, get the knees up to par, get the back feeling good, you know what I mean? And then let him play again, and then he gets hot. And then when he's cold, you don't bench him. You just let him rest for some extended time. You give him the
Masa Yoshida treatment before he messed up his thumb.
Well, yeah, except Masa kind of. That was
what they did to David Hamilton when he sucked defensively. They kind of isolated him from the lineup for 4-6 games straight, and then they brought him back, and he was reset and fixed and figured out.
Speaking of which, did you talk about numbers on David Hamilton yet for this month of what he's done? I know you mentioned it last pod. Oh, okay. I thought you talked about Rafi
350
first.
350, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, 14 runs, 9 stolen bases, 7 doubles, 1 triple.
Gotcha. Like that right there. That's something I feel like I would expect Duran to be doing when you say numbers like that. Just with the amount of extra base hits, stolen bases, and all that stuff. Yet here it is. It's David Hamilton, and now you have two guys in this lineup who are now batting 1 and 2 right after each other. But if David Hamilton gets moved down, which he's not going to anytime soon unless he cools off a bit, but like now you got two guys that are going to impact the game in so many different ways with their speed, with their ability to put the ball in play, get hits, steal bases, take an extra base, score a run on something where players shouldn't be able to score a run. You've got two guys who can do that. And if you even want to throw a little Raffy in there, like now you got three guys that have a game-changing speed, game-changing ability when they're on the bases, and that's a scary scenario, especially not to jump ahead, but jump ahead here. If you're talking wild card spot and you've got these type of guys that can take that extra base, put pressure on pitchers and whatnot, three of them balanced throughout your lineup, that's a scary thing.
A lot of disrespect unintentionally thrown at our boy Connor Wong here, not putting him into this category and realm of the other guys with that sort of game-changing element of speed attached to his play.
He has that type of speed for his position, but he's nowhere near on that level of those three. You know what I mean? But you know what?
Yeah, I'm playing.
If Connor Wong here, I know he's listening, so if you are like Connor, I'm sorry. Like I apologize. Let's have a race between the four of you, see where you're at, and just prove my ass wrong. That's all I got to say.
That sounds like a great idea. That sounds like a great idea.
Right. I would actually pay to see that, just saying. Like a race between a Duran, Devers, and Hamilton and see who's actually faster.
Duran, Rafaela, and Hamilton?
Mm-hmm. Who do you think would win?
I'd have to give it to Duran easily, man. Depends how far this race is.
I don't know. Let's just say typical like 40-yard dash or something like that.
A triple?
I want to see it in a straight line. I don't want to see I want to see like tops. I want to see a cheetah going to hunt a fucking gazelle.
I'm taking Duran easily. By like 3 steps.
I think the only thing that gets me is I feel like Duran gets up to speed so much faster than the other two. Like, out of the box, he is just...
Hamilton's smaller, too, so he's not going to have that much stride length attached to that as well.
But Duran's got, the legs bowing, the angry lizard look to him. Hamilton's more in a straight line. You're consuming a lot more energy. I don't know. I generally don't know. I don't think I have an answer to this. I know you'd say Duran, but I generally don't have an answer to that.
Duran's my easy pick.
Right.
Well,
okay.
we put up a tweet about how impressive, indeed, Jarren Duran's running is this year. Pulling it up real quick. Uno momento, por favor. According to Statcast, Angry Lizard Duran leads the MLB in competitive runs with 128. This was on June 7th, so almost a week ago. He's tied for 10th with David Hamilton in home-to-first speed, 90-foot time, at 4.14 seconds. Ranked 94th percentile in sprint speed and 96th percentile in defensive range to show off like another element of his speed. But that's crazy that him and David Hamilton are tied for the same exact home-to-first sprint speed of 4.14 seconds on average.
That would need
competitive run.
I was going to say, that would need a photo finish. And what I will say is I feel like Hamilton tends to lean a little bit more forward when he runs, where Jarren's a little more straighten up. I think that head's going to come in, and he's going to get that photo finish.
Nah.
I don't know. I'm just all about sucking off David Hamilton tonight.
That's fair. I understand it. He's been really good. He's been on a tear. He's kind of been a heartbeat to this team that we've needed when Jarren Duran has been not at his hottest. That's where David Hamilton has stepped up. And then when Jarren Duran has been hot, that's when David Hamilton has also been hot. And that's when this team has been very, very, very fun, like the last, like 2 nights ago.
I'd say even the past like couple weeks though, like it's kind of been like that. And even Duran, though, like his stretches of being bad are literally only like a small cluster of games. Like I feel like they're like 3, 4, like a series where he's either over or a couple hits and that's it. And then boom, he busts out with like 6 hits in a series and 3 fucking doubles and 2 triples and a home run because he doesn't hit singles.
It's very series based with him. It's interesting, but he normally steps up when we need him the most, which is crucial for times like these in this schedule. But let's go into the nitty gritties of what happened in this 3-game set here.
Let's do that. Let's get to some notes. Let's talk about this. So first, we head into Game 1 here. All right, Game 67 of the year. We got Cutter Crawford versus Zach Wheeler. All right. Now to preface this off, I just got to say this was Kyle Schwarber's return to Boston, and I feel like you and I feel very sentimental about this because we were big Schwarber fans when he came over here in 2021 at that trade deadline. And I remember, too, like, everybody was like, what the fuck are we going to do with Schwarber? Like this was our big trade deadline acquisition was Kyle Schwarber. Who the fuck's this guy? Like, God damn it, he strikes out all the time. He ended up being one of the most fun players to watch on the Red Sox that year. And honestly, one of my favorite plays from him was he was just learning first base. And he's sitting there, and he made an error, one play or something like that, and he still had a smile on his face, like, well, what are you going to do? I've never played here before. And then the next play, what it was he got a ground ball to him, and he was running towards first and should have taken it himself, and then ended up flipping it to the pitcher. Pitcher got jammed up, the ball got dropped, and he was only like a foot away from the bag when this happened. It was like later that inning or the next day, he ends up getting a ball hit to him, and he's running to first base with the ball in his left hand, because he's a lefty, obviously, but he's running with the ball in his left hand, calls off the pitcher, steps on first, and like everybody's cheering him on because he actually made the right decision to take the ball on his own. And it's just like, that's just Kyle Schwarber for you. And then obviously he's going to go and hit some nukes. But anyways, it was his return to Boston. I know he didn't have a long tenure here. It's not like a Chris Sale return or something like that, but it hits you in the feels. Like I had bought a Kyle from Waltham, or Kyle with the Waltham Hawks sweater. I gave it to you because, again, it didn't fit me. And then you had sent me that video. I swear to God, the video you sent me, I thought you had taken that live. I forgot you sent that to me after he signed with the Phillies.
I was back in 2002. I sent that to you. It was
2002? Damn, 22 years ago. That was a while ago.
Yep, that was the off season that shortly before the spring training came underway. The Philadelphia Phillies ended up taking Kyle Schwarber from us in the free agency. We didn't want to re-sign him or anything like that for whatever reason. That man, dude. Oh, miss him a lot. And this series it hurt. I'll let you get to it, but game 1 was a very painful time, and the following morning was very painful too.
Well, we will get to it very, very quickly because, as I said, Cutter Crawford versus Zach Wheeler. First pitch of the game, Kyle from Waltham hits a nuke, 1-0 Phillies. Thank God we were pre-fucked before this game anyways. I don't know why. That made me laugh as I was typing that for some reason. Like, thank God we were pre-fucked for this game anyways. Just comes into Boston, first pitch he sees, wallops an absolute dick shot, and you just hear the Fenway Philly crowd go nuts for Kyle.
If I was at that game, I would have gone nuts for Kyle in that moment, man.
I probably would have too. To be honest with you. Like, what better than a guy who, granted, he's actually having a decent average this year. I think he's batting like 235, but like, what better than a guy who bats 200, hits 40 fucking nukes a year, and is just an absolute vibes guy in the dugout? Like, I would pay for that any day of the week.
All this guy has done in his life has won as well. He's won multiple World Series championships. He's won a College World Series. He won a Little League World Series. He won his high school championship or something like that. No, that's Jason Varitek. Excuse me.
No. This is Schwarber.
I thought it was that he's homered in every one of those, not that he's won.
Oh, yeah, you might be right. He's homered.
He's hit a homer in every one of these elements, so you know he's got the it factor. There you go. You know he loves showing up in the big stages if he's doing those in those specific moments and in those games. Check. And you know this dude wanted to be in Boston, last but not least, and enjoyed playing here and thrived playing here. I don't understand, outside of like the low batting average and the high strikeout clip back at the time, and us wanting to get away from that, why you wouldn't re-sign a player like Kyle Schwarber.
Do you remember what they offered him?
No, especially when, it don't matter to me, especially when most of our team strikes out at a 25% plus clip. Don't understand that method.
I would rather have a guy on the team that strikes out at a 25% plus clip, but when he does connect on a ball, like, I don't know, 1 out of every 7 at-bats, it's a home run.
When he has the bright lights on him and it's a playoff game or a championship game, he has, like, Babe Ruth in him. I would like a guy like that.
I would. And honestly, one last Schwarber story, and then I will keep on going through with the notes here. But in the World Baseball Classic, it was against Japan for the championship game, and he was facing Shohei Ohtani, and it was a 3-0 count, and he pops out to right field, right? And I remember, like, texting friends in groups. I saw tweets about it, and they're like, what are we doing swinging 3-0, yada, yada, yada. Like, come on, that's a no-brainer in baseball. You take 3-0, boom, that's it. Then you go get the next pitch and on the yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Why are we doing that? Let me ask you this. Do you know what the one pitch is that Kyle Schwarber hunts but also hits the best? Fastball. What pitch, granted I know there's no such thing as a hitter's count anymore to some extent, but in theory, what pitch are you going to get 3-0?
A dick middle fastball.
A dick middle fastball. So Kyle Schwarber hits fastballs the best, gets a dick middle fastball 3-0 in a championship game in the World Baseball Classic. Yeah, I want to see him fucking go as hard as he can. I don't care if he pops out to anybody. He made the right decision there. It just wasn't the right result. So fuck everybody on that one from a couple years ago.
Everybody would have praised him if he hit that home run.
That's what I'm saying. Like it, and that's media, and that's like people just don't understand. You know what I mean? They don't get in the nitty gritty of it and understand strengths, weaknesses, and what like attack and approaches and for hitters and pitchers and all that stuff. They just see it as a fan or what they learned when they were in fucking JV baseball in 1968.
A lot of lessons.
Anyways, all right. Next note: Angry Lizard starting it off hot. Would be a great time to give him the green light. He got on base immediately, and I was like, this would just set the tone. We're down 1-0. Let's steal. He did not. David Hamilton at the 2-hole, and he drives a double off the monster. OPS over 900 his last 10 games. I have a Hamilton boner.
Does it have a freckle on it?
2, actually, but one right on the right-hand side.
Yeah, right on the mold.
It's right there. Yep. It's got a little hair on the tip as well, just to match it and everything.
Beautiful.
Haley hates it, but, you know, what are you going to do? I'm dedicated.
That's what it is.
Rob, sack fly to right, scores Duran, 1-1, bottom of the first. And this was just such a little tidbit note that I put here because at this point on that play that Rob sack flied, if you notice, a lot of the plays that Castellanos makes are to his left, like going towards a wall when he's in left field. And now if people that follow or know baseball know that Castellanos is statistically one of the worst defensive outfielders in the game. What the Phillies found out, though, through extreme metrics and data and stuff like this is where you get positive stuff from that, is that he is terrible going on balls behind him and to his right, yet he excels at fielding balls in front of him and to his left. So what they did was, and if you watch how they shift their outfield, they shift Castellanos, like I don't want to say right center, but they shift him more over towards center field so that any play that comes to him naturally is going to be to his glove hand side, and he's going to have a better percentage of fielding that ball. And if you watch a lot of the plays that he made in this series, a lot of them were him running to his left. The ones that he either didn't make or didn't get to was anything that was to his right.
I mean, that's very smart defensive positioning by the Philadelphia Phillies, because it's either that or you have to put Kyle Schwarber in there. So I'm glad this works for them.
I am too. You know what I mean? But it also shows too, to me, like, just kind of how cool baseball is, and like how deep you can go into the metrics, take something positive out of it and apply it and actually see the positive or the results come to fruition right in front of your eyes. You know what I mean? Because like I feel like there's so many old heads in baseball that don't care, they're like, what's he doing playing out there? You know what I mean? What are we gonna do with all these metrics? They're confusing the hitters and pitchers. Like, stop blaming it. Like, exit velocity stinks. Just put the ball in play. But like, you go and you take some of these metrics, you apply them, and boom, look what happens. Positive results come out of it, and that's just the beauty of it all.
Amen to that, man. I couldn't say it better myself.
I generally kind of forgot Massa was on this team. I hope the time off helped him mentally a bit, but he's going to be a key piece to this lineup moving forward. And then next note immediately, Massa is a lot shorter than I remember. Like, I don't know if it's because Wheeler's kind of tall. I have no idea, or whatever it may be, but he stepped in that batter's box and he looked the same height as the catcher. Devers, again, makes the hardest...
I think Massa is looking so short because of how low his pants are. We've talked about this before, but they're at like an all-time low right now, and this needs to be changed. I think that will
bring
only
him back
help
up to
him.
the nips.
Yeah, it will only help him. I understand that we're all about squeezing chest and squeezing nips this year, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So let's let Massa hide his nipples, hide his chest a little bit with his pants, so he can hit around 290, 300 all over again, like he did on a long stretch of the season last year.
I mean, here's the thought. Martin's on the IL. Let's just give him a pair of his pants and put those on, and he's going to have to wear them at his nips.
Hey, there's only one route right there, being the height difference.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're automatically tall, so he's got to wear them up here to fit. You know what I'm saying?
Either that or he's going to be like frickin' swimming in those things.
He's going to look like a little kid trying on like his dad's clothes or something like that, and like walk out, and like he's going to be like walking to the plate, and the pants are going to be falling down on him.
100%.
Devers again makes the hardest plays. Like it amazes me. Like, there are routine ones that can get hit to him, and he could fuck up a wet dream sometimes, but he gets some of the hardest hit balls at him. It's called the hot corner for a reason, and he's on the ground, and he looks in his glove, and it's there, and it's amazing. I would love to see the rate on his, like, hard, like the lower probability plays, like catch probability plays, and see what his actually is, like on hard hit balls, like say above 95 to 100 miles per hour versus like a routine ground ball. I guarantee his defensive metrics soar through the roof.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it for a minute.
This is the next note, slightly controversial. So a little backstory here. I'm on FaceTime with my mother and sister at the time. We're arguing about how my sister's going to get her cat here over the summer. From New Orleans to Mass, and wanted me to fly down, all this jazz. So I'm talking to them, trying to watch the game, but not really paying attention to this conversation, paying attention to the game. And then all of a sudden, there's a ground ball to Emmanuel Valdez. He has to go to his left. It's not a great throw, but Dom Smith has to turn and just squeeze the ball, and the boys are out of the inning, smooth as can be. We got ourselves a baseball team. What does Dom Smith do? He decides, we're not going to catch the ball this time. And so I write down, Dom, in all caps, Dom, get the fuck off this team. Catch the fucking ball, and the inning is over. Fuck. And to preface this, too, I was on FaceTime again with my mom and my sister, and you just hear, motherfucker! And I just snapped. And they're like, what happened? I was like, Dom Smith just dropped the easiest fucking ball, and 2 runs fucking score. Fuck me! And I'm going fucking bananas. And, it really brought a lot of life back into the conversation.
Yeah. I'm sure. They had no idea what you were talking about.
Nope, didn't care either, but there's me over here.
So with that Dom Smith play, man, after the fact, once they record the third out there, you see him once they're on offense. He's having a conversation with Alex Cora in the dugout and stuff, and it looks like they're having a candid conversation about the play. And it seemed like they were on the same page with what happened. It didn't seem like Alex Cora was frustrated. It didn't seem like Dom Smith was like being defensive or anything like that. Then later on, Dom Smith was asked post-game about that play. And he said, based on the throw, here, this is not verbatim or quoted, this is just the Trotta summary of it. Based on the throw being offline and not the best throw, like you mentioned, by Valdez, he felt like it was not worth injuring himself attempting to make the catch and play, as it tipped off like and snow coned it in a sense.
Selfish.
I'm sorry.
That's all I have to say.
Yes, the word selfish, I feel like that's a little harsh. I'm not going to use the word selfish because in that moment, I don't know who specifically was running, but Dom Smith doesn't strike me as an individual personality-wise that's going to go beat people up or go take a punch or go take a hit. But if you go throw your homeboy, Bob Dahlback, out there at first base in that same exact situation, same exact play, I feel like that play is being attempted. I feel like Tristan Casas is also attempting to make that play. I don't necessarily think that Garrett Cooper is going to make that play as he's messed up those sort of opportunities in the past, similar throws in the past. But I can see Tristan Casas and Bobby Dahlback making that catch all day long and risking it. Not only that, Mac, but I think that's a little bit of an excuse after the fact because Dom looked very lazy with his footwork there. His feet were already long set before the throw was even made by Emmanuel Valdez, and he kept his foot long out there, and he was just lazy and tried to reach out with his glove. If he simply stepped 6 inches a foot to his right with that lead foot, instead of leaving it stuck in the mud, he would have had plenty of range to make that catch. Got his arm and glove hand out of the way so he didn't get it ran over. And guess what? His foot wasn't crossing the base running lane that he established. It would have been right on the line or it would have been slightly to the left of it in play. I don't understand the thought process. I feel like it was just a fat passive play where he's like, dude, we got fucking more than half the season left here. I'm not trying to get hurt. We already got Tristan Casas hurt. I respect that after the fact and that, like,
I don't even remotely, and I'm going to tell you why.
Political
right now.
response to the
Nope.
He saved his ass, but like play hard, man. Like
Nope.
Everybody else is playing this like it's a playoff atmosphere, and you're out here playing like we got 90 more games left to play, and this one doesn't really matter. All these games matter for the Red Sox, especially with this roster talent.
No, I completely disagree with you. This was a selfish act. If that's his answer, he didn't want to get injured. Now I'm going to tell you why it's selfish. Because he knows he's fucking out of here once Casas comes back. He's gone. And so he doesn't want to injure himself so that if he does get injured and he's put on the 15-day IL or 10-day IL, but he's on there for something a little bit more serious or something like that, and Casas comes back, see you, but he's still injured. Now he can't latch on with a new team. That's why it's selfish. I think he is thinking purely about himself with that answer.
Damn. That's
I wanted to get that earlier.
Harsh. That's harsh, but I understand. I can see that. My reason is harsh too. I think it's just him being lazy and him trying to find an excuse, and it's a valid excuse that people are going to believe.
But I think it's that. No, this is all circumstantial evidence, obviously. My other reasoning to this is because Bailey comes out for a mound visit right after that play, right? And Dom, not once, like, hand on the back of the cutter, like, yo, bro, like, my bad, I fucked up, I should have caught that, like, I got you next time. He just stood out there, didn't say a word, nothing. And that's where it goes to show me that was a selfish play then, based on his response.
If anything, he was the one that got a pat or two from people. That was it.
Yeah, but you know what? You don't deserve a fucking pat or two from people. You deserve to sit there and say, hey, I fucked up, I should have caught that ball, got us out of this inning, and made it a 2-1 ball game.
His approach in his mind was that was Emmanuel Valdez's fault. That was a throwing error. That wasn't my fault. I couldn't make a play.
And if it is, that's an even worse fucking mentality to have. Because, like, yeah, it may have been a bad throw, but you know what? I was a first baseman. And let me tell you, I didn't wear a cup for one reason and one reason only. That was my fucking motivation to pick every goddamn ball out of the dirt. I actually prayed. I had an all-star shortstop that went to UConn and probably should have got drafted, but didn't, and ended up coaching with the Red Sox. I had this kid throwing hard across the diamond. I've worked with Nick Ahmed across the diamond. And let me tell you, I prayed for a ball in the dirt so that I could fucking pick it, and they'd be like, oh, I trust this guy over here with my fucking life. That was my mentality. I wanted a ball in the dirt to fucking pick. I wanted the hardest place. Dom Smith does not look like that type of guy. Now, to talk about the actual play, Emmanuel Valdez, we know, is not a great fielder. Terrible footwork, no neck. What's that have to do with fielding? No idea, but he's robotic. Anyway, so he's going to his left. He gets the ball. He's throwing off the wrong foot. He should have thrown across his body. He should have kicked his leg to stop his body from moving in one certain way and direction. Instead, he throws a ball with what seemed like two-seam action on it, and it did move away from Dom. So now as a lefty, you're facing like kind of the right field area as opposed to left field trying to field this. And as a lefty with that two-seamer moving away from you now, you get eaten up a little bit. And I could see maybe that's a tougher play for a first baseman to make. But you're known for your glove, okay, first off. And B, you're a major league fucking first baseman. Catch the fucking ball. Now, for Bob as a righty, it's probably going to be much easier for Bob to come across this way and catch that ball as it is for Dom to maybe T-Rex arm that and try to get it. Because if you look, his arm, he goes here, but all he had to do was extend about 6 more inches and he fucking had it, but he kind of pulls back a little bit. And either way, that play pissed me off to the fucking moon and was ready. I don't care if I got to put Connor Wong at first base. I don't care if I got to put Devers over there and let Hamilton play fucking third or Little Raffy play third. I don't care. I'm all set with him. I don't care what he does with the bat.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. If it happens again, then I'm definitely done with him, and that bat can be replaceable.
You're going to make a much better father than I one day because, you're going to give your kid the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, we learn from our mistakes, all right? There's going to be me that's going to fucking kick the kid out the door and say, go figure it out on your own then.
If they make said mistake more than once, that's when I will get much more stern.
Touche. That error allows 2 runs to score, 3-1 Phils. Next note, very brief, but I miss Loomer on the broadcast. I probably say it every time he's on the broadcast. He's just so professional out there, but at the same time, too, just provides a certain little zing to it, just little professionalism. Like Obi and him just have a nice back and forth.
Yes, they do. I've been enjoying it the last couple of days.
Yeah, like tonight's broadcast was really good, and I enjoyed that. But we'll get to that. Schwarber loves Fenway. It would be cool if he played for the Sox. 4-1 Phillies, second homer of the night. Not ideal. This next note, I appreciate Dom making the error he did and then going out and making the next play in the next inning to stop a double. So, like, there was the next play. He goes to his backhand side. He makes a really nice play and gets the out. And I appreciate that. Like, you're not harping on the error or anything like that. You're going to go out and get the next one. But to me, it still just, doesn't make up for what happened in that previous one. I just had to make a note of that.
I understand with the recency bias there.
So this next note, all things considered, Cutter has pitched pretty well, but the home run ball is still an issue. And his final line for that night, let me bring it up real quick here. He had 6 innings pitched, 88 pitches, 66 strikes, 6 hits, 2 earned runs with 4 runs allowed, 8 Ks, which is his most start in the season, 2 walks, 2 home runs, and 13 whiffs. Shout out Tyler Milliken. Stole those stats from him because I had my own written down, but yours was a little bit more in depth there. But like all things considered, that was a pretty good start. from compared to what we've seen. Obviously, the errors didn't help and stuff like that, but pretty decent start from Cutter.
Yeah, getting closer to where he needs to be here with the whole. He got a quality start, going 6 innings, less than 3 earned runs. That's what we need out of him. But he's got to limit the long ball, man. I know it was off of one specific player, but I don't care. It's no excuse. Give up multiple home runs, let alone one in like pretty much every single ball game of May. And now it's going into June as well. It's getting frustrating with him that he can't leave the ball in the ballpark on a more consistent basis. But doesn't matter if we can't give him run support.
Let me ask you this, and if you are a pitching coach, so that's why I'm going to ask you this. But like, if you have a pitcher that is consistently doing this every game, like what's your approach with him? Like afterwards, whether you're working a bullpen side session, you're having a conversation, you're out to dinner with him, and you're discussing like the home run issue. Like, what's your approach to trying to fix the home run issue? Like, is it mechanical? Is it mental? You think execution?
I would go look at usage and see what pitches are getting the most damage on the long ball. Then from there, I would see, what counts that specific pitch is getting tattooed in. Then you kind of eliminate that pitch and that count for guys that you think would have a likelihood of going long ball against Cutter in that given count with that given pitch in that given situation. A lot of it, too, has to do with mentality as well with Cutter right now. He's kind of going through a little wall, going through a little mid-season block here. This is the most he's pitched to begin a year to start a season of his young professional career. So his legs are gassed. He said that in the media before Denessen on post-game reports. So it's more of a conversation of, hey, man, like, you're just having a bump in the road. This is you take 2 steps forwards, 1 step back. This is your 1 step back. If you can grind through this, grow from this, we can figure out the usage difference to limit the home run balls from there. Your legs are going to get a second win. Your body's going to get a second win here once we get to that all-star break in a month. Then you can come back for a hell of a second half of the year, and we can manage your pitch count limit and innings pitched limit for the second half of the year to make sure that once we need you in that last month stretch of September to push into that wild card spot, we're ready for you to go back to going 6+ innings for your last month going into the playoffs. And hopefully catching a hot streak and going.
I like that. And to be honest with you, you had said this and I forgot that it was said before, but maybe talking with him and, having a serious conversation with a pitcher, but him just being AC or Bailey, I just need an extra day rest or two here and there, just to get the legs back underneath me and whatnot, and see what happens after that. Kind of don't push him as hard, essentially.
Yeah, we know he can go these 6 inning games now, so don't force him to get into this habit every single game out. It's okay if he's going 4 innings one game, like a Cooper Criswell outing, or if he's going 4 2/3, 5 innings, 5 1/3. He doesn't need to grind out 6. You don't need to necessarily grind out 7. Unless we have to save our bullpen, go for it. If he's throwing a no-hitter or a shutout, go for it. But give the man a little bit of a break, and we're going to see his location get better. We're going to see him get his legs under him a little bit more, and he'll get back to more of an April Cutter Crawford.
One last follow-up question here, and I apologize. I know we're trying to get done before midnight. We'll see if that happens. But I feel like it has to be a very honest conversation with a pitching coach and a coach to be like, listen, guys, I'm kind of gassed here. My legs can fucking feel it and stuff like that. I feel like that's not an easy conversation to have, even with the culture that Cora has built there, with being a player's coach and stuff like that. And I guess my question to you here is is it kind of a bitch move from a starter, a Cutter Crawford, to sit there and be like, guys, I might need a couple extra days rest here down the road? Or is that a mature move? Or is it a bitch move or a mature move to say something like that, essentially? Because you're in the MLB, you're making X amount of dollars, people want to see you pitch, people want to see the team win. You give the team a good chance at doing that. So, I feel like fans would look at it as a bitch move. I feel like a coach would look at that as a mature move. At least a Cora would look at that as a mature move. What's your thoughts?
he has shown that he can have success doing it both ways. So I wouldn't necessarily see it as a fan perspective as a bitch move. I would more think of it like, man, he has some very good self-understanding. He looked himself in the mirror and he understands his strengths, and he's strongest through 4 innings, through 60 pitches, 65 pitches. Once he gets to that 65, 70 pitch count mark, that's when he starts to lose some of his shit. Just him understanding that, like, himself, I'm not gonna think he's a bitch, and I don't think Cora would think he's a bitch. I think Cora may portray, because he's a coach, and challenge Cutter like he's done in the past with Cutter specifically, and also Eddie Rodriguez. No, you need to do this. This is what the team needs out of you, so go do it. Toughen up, figure it out. You're in a roadblock, so figure it out. Not everything sunshines and rainbows, Cutter. So nut up and go do it. That's probably the conversation that's being had more often than not.
I can say that, and I want to preface this by saying I don't think Cutter's a bitch and all that stuff. That was just the first word that came to mind there. I do think it would go more the way that you just expressed. All right, next note. Just realized Wheeler's at 69 pitches at 5 1/3 innings. We got to make him work more. Eventually, he ends up going 7. So Wheeler ends up going 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, 4K, 1 walk. This is just a random note, but Jamie Westbrook comes in to pinch hit, and we know Cora loves manipulating that roster and pinch hitting guys late in the game because Matt Strahm comes on the mound. First pitch looks at ball 1 right down the dick. The umpiring in this series was some of the worst I've seen all year with some of these called strikes and or balls. This ball could not have been more of a fucking strike. And even Jamie Westbrook was like, what? And anyways, ball 1 right down the middle.
It's not the only time that's happened in the series. We'll get to that.
Yep. I noticed this, and I wonder, you know how in the NBA, they kind of let certain players or just players in general maybe take an extra step instead of calling a travel. They're like, you know what, he did something cool, so
or
kind
the
of let him.
carries.
The dribble carries, things like that. You know what I mean? They don't call something like that. I feel like it's so rare to actually get a true balk called on something stupid. And the reason I'm talking about this is because Matt Strahm, half the time he threw, did not look like he was coming to a complete stop. He was coming here and then just immediately leg up right into it without coming to a complete stop. And I felt like an old head over here, and I'm like, that's a block. What are we doing, ump? Huh? Blow the fucking whistle. Do something.
I think the ump would say he's doing it every time. It's a repeatable action.
But see, it wasn't though, because 2 pitches later, he would come set for an extra second longer. Because before I wrote that down, I was like, you know what? Let me see if he actually comes to a set. And I had watched, and there was a couple where he came to a set. There was a few where he was just fucking go. And I don't know. It just a little questionable to me, just saying. My last note on this game was I might have fixed Bob. And granted, no one's going to listen to ex-hitting coach over here. But Bob pops up a lot in his swing. And I feel like he loses so much of his kinetic chain, if you will, when he goes to swing, where he gets down into his hip real low and he loads very well. But when he goes to swing, his body's coming up and he's just losing so much. And that's where I feel like if you watch Bob's bats against Major League pitching, his barrel does not find the baseball. And I feel like a lot of that is because of that thing. So my homework to you is next series or next Bob at bats, watch him swing, especially on middle up pitches and middle out pitches, how much he kind of comes out of his stance, out of staying low to the ground, out of his I'm trying to think of the word to describe this, out of his load, if you will. How much he kind of pops up and out of it. On inside pitches, he does a much better job of staying in that, but middle out pitches or anything middle up is popping right up and out, and I feel like that's a big red flag. Anyways,
I'll take a look at that next time.
Sox lose 4-1. Makes them 33-34 on the season. Cutter Crawford, I already said what he did. Bullpen was nails. They allowed one hit after in three innings. David Hamilton continues his hot hitting, going 2 for 4 with a double. Duran and Wong both had the other hits. Game 2, game 68 of the year. We have Nick Pivetta on the mound opposing Christopher Sanchez. Let's dive into some of these notes here. We'll get through them quick. Pivetta does not have his best stuff right now. Can't locate tonight, and that's a problem against a patient and crazy offense. However, the umpire isn't helping either. There was, again, quite a few pitches that were right there that he was not calling that could have swayed an at-bat. Next note, immediately. I'm shocked Pivetta hasn't told this umpire to go practice safe sex and fuck himself, because let me tell you, this fucking, Pavetta's a fiery guy. He's motherfucking his infielders trying to turn a double play. And you're telling me you can't tell an ump to go sit on a fucking cactus for not calling a fucking strike? It made me wonder a little bit.
I think you get quickly tossed if you do anything along those lines.
Morale, fucking good. See you later, Pivetta. Get out, and not in a bad way. I'm saying I want to see Pivetta sit there and say, "What the fuck kind of call was that?" And that umpire to say, "See ya," and for him to walk right up into his face, the Nick Pivetta fucking right into his fucking face, screaming at him, borderline chest bumping him, but not enough to get a 5-game suspension or anything like that, and get fucking tossed right the fuck out and have Fenway crowd go nuts. Nuts.
Any contact, he's getting banged for multiple games of suspension.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No contact, just enough, though, where his spit is reaching the umpire's face, and he is just motherfucking this kid. Kid, whatever the fuck he is. That's what I'm saying. Merrifield singles down the right field line, 3-0 Phillies. Just hearing "Let's Go Philly" chants at Fenway. And Fenway has become a tourist destination because Sox fans just don't show up. And I don't know if this is a boycott John Henry type thing where Sox fans just aren't showing up. So opposing fans or people that live around the New England area, fuck, I'm just going to go watch my team play against Boston and fucking beat them and cheer them on. But I swear to God, not to jump ahead, but even in game 3, I was hearing "Let's Go Philly" chants. It is louder for opposing teams than it is Boston.
Yeah, it's been like that for the whole entire year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not ideal when you are thinking of years past at Fenway Park. It's 100% people kind of not only revolting against the John Henry crap and Fenway Sports Group stuff, but it's also why go watch, dude? I personally don't find much value in going to a game this year. I know I'm going Saturday, but I find value in that because it's the first Red Sox Yankees series of the year, and the whole Alex Verdugo storyline. I'll go watch that in person. But for all the other times throughout the year, I haven't had the desire to go. I haven't seen the point in going when I can just watch the most likely mediocre game, the mid-game, from my comfort of my couch with free food, give or take,
Yep.
And without paying for parking or anything like that. That just is much more enjoyable this year for me for whatever reason. And I give a big reason for that because of, just the talent on the roster to begin the year. I mean, if they're going well and going strong second half of the year, you bet your ass I'm going to be there much more often than I am currently. But that's my personal reason as a fan right now of why I haven't been around Fenway lately.
Which I get wholeheartly, and it makes sense. And coming from a guy who's been to 4 games this year, probably more games than I've been to in the past 2 years combined. But I have fun when I go. It's just I think I've mentioned this before on a previous episode, but I watch the game in 2 different ways. Where when I'm home, I'm watching it almost from as much as a fan perspective, but like a coach perspective. Or no, I'm sorry, a fan perspective. But like I like to watch the pitch come in, and I like to watch the break on the pitch and stuff like that, and see how all that happens. Where when you're at the game, you can't really see that. You're just seeing the result of stuff. You can't really tell if it's a breaking ball, fastball, little things like that. But you can pick up on a lot of other things because when you're at home, you're only seeing the pitcher catcher, and then when the ball's put into play, like you're not watching pre-pitch. And now I'm watching it from a coach's lens where I'm watching all the infielders and outfielders do the same thing and do a little pre-pitch hop or something like that at the same time. And that's cool to me. Watching guys warm up is cool to me, how they go about their business. And that just to me is like the fun thing about going to those games is just, yeah, I know they're probably going to lose, especially they haven't won a game that I've gone to this year, so I know they're going to lose when I'm there. But, like, at least I can look at other things, and it's cool to watch how major leaguers go about their business. It really is. Like, I would love to be in the dugout for a game and, like, watch, Alex Cora be like, hey, Wong, you're about to pinch hit here. Or if he comes up in the next inning or two, like, you're going to pinch hit and, like, watch them go underneath the tunnel, go take some batting practice and stuff like that. Watch how they approach and get in the mindset, ready to go in. Watch fucking relievers, watching them warm up, how they do it. And it's just so cool seeing that aspect of it.
They're there for a reason. I encourage the youth of baseball, whoever that fits into our listeners, our audience, to put on that lens watching a game when you're there in person one of these days. Watch their routine, watch their habits, watch the unconventional things that you normally do not watch on a day-to-day. Lock onto a player for 25, 30 minutes for his whole entire pregame routine when they're out there for BP and the stretch routine. Just lock into your favorite guy and see what he does. And then write it down in your little notepad and take it home with you and try and take out the stuff that you like and bring it into what you do for your own pregame. And I have a very strong feeling that it will change things for the good if you are a struggling or inconsistent ball player yourself.
Couldn't have said it better myself there, Coach Trotta. David Dahl, who went extinct from the MLB, is hitting doubles off the wall now for the Phillies. 4-0 Phillies. Going to go on with my night at this point. And that's where I texted my friend. So this was the game that she was at. I texted my friend. I was like, you might as well go home. Like, there's not going to be much more. Sox down 4-0. You and I might have even, I think, played a couple MLB games to this point.
Yeah.
And then, you start getting some notifications. I got the game on, and I'm like, oh, shit, there's some fun stuff going on here. But next note, fuck Nesson 360. Goes to commercial break while I'm in the kitchen getting my wife a snack.
Dude.
And then all of a sudden, right, I hear, yeah, let's go. Whoa. Like you hear these crowd chants. And so I sprint back into the room to be like, what the fuck did I just miss? And it's the circle going, and it says commercial break in progress. And I'm like, fuck you. You just fucking duped me. Like, I was so pissed because it was just a commercial break. Yeah, you got. Like, that's what happened right there, ladies and gentlemen. So, fuck you, Nesson 360. You didn't even do anything wrong this broadcast other than fucking think that something exciting happened.
God damn it. So they still haven't figured that out, huh?
No, well, in fairness, though, like this is the commercial break noise. Like it just says Nesson 360 and a circle spins around it, and it makes the crowd noise. So like nothing happened. I just thought something happened because I walked into the kitchen getting a snack from my wife, and then all of a sudden you hear the crowd chants, and I'm like, what did I miss? And I sprint back in, and it's fucking commercial break. If I have a saving grace, it's that Bob is back on this team, out here picking balls out of the dirt, not costing the Red Sox games. Yes, that is what is that a subtweet? Is that what they call it? Like that's passive aggressive towards Dom Smith. Yes, that's what that was.
Subtext,
maybe something like that. Subtweet, where you're just tweeting, but like you're tweeting at somebody without tagging them.
Subtext
type thing.
Turn to subtweet. Yes.
Yeah, something like that. this is like that coaching perspective here, but I love Rob, right? So he gets a line drive down the right field line. He comes in on it, and he lays out for it. And he's pretty close to making this play. Ball gets by him. Instead of just like sitting there and banking on Rafael and being there to back him up or whatever it was, this motherfucker immediately gets up off the ground, puts his head down, and starts sprinting towards the ball. And let me tell you, I love Rob for that reason right there. It's the little things like that. Watching a guy who was like, fuck, I missed the ball, and get up and sprint after it at 110% to try to get it back in, even though you're already fucked, you know what I mean? But did everything he can after that. And that's something I did not see out of Dom Smith. Now, I know he's playing first base. He can't sprint after everything. But again, that mound visit, no fucking emotion, no nothing.
Just the effort.
But just the effort that he put in immediately after that to go get that ball says enough about him that I love Rob. And he's going to be a tough conversation at the fucking trade deadline.
That play alone doesn't even do it justice on why the Red Sox decided to re-sign him as a bench piece a couple of years ago. This guy is an incredible clubhouse guy. His day-to-day work ethic and approach in there is unmatched from what I've read and have seen on reports. He is kind of the epitome and glue of that outfield and the most experienced age-wise amongst the group.
He's that veteran presence. And I remember his press conference when they re-signed him, like they just re-signed a freaking like Bryce Harper to a contract. It was electric. Next note, fuck Duran and his triples. Devers is the trips machine. This motherfucker has a third of his career triples this year. That is absurd.
It's so weird, man. I just, something's in the air with the Red Sox and this triples machine that they are on.
Whatever juice they're drinking, I want a sip or two of it. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, please.
Westbrook hits a sac fly. Devers scores. 4-1 Phillies. Bottom of the fourth. Okay? So at this point, Pavetta goes 4 innings pitch, 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, 4 Ks. His ERA jumps a little bit. I think it was a 3.80 before. Jumps to a 3.88. Didn't have his best stuff. Didn't have the feel for his off speed. Was missing up all night with a ton of stuff. So after this, I went to go help my wife with something. And I came back, and it's suddenly 4-4 fucking Sox. Or it's tied. 4-4. And I'm like, what the fuck? And now this is the second time that this has happened. Okay, it was against the Tiger series where I went to go help my wife with something, and I turn around and they're winning like 6-4 or whatever it was after being down 4-0. Wild. I need to take more breaks.
Must be a really good helper, Mac.
It's what they tell me. It's what they tell me.
A really good helper. Just bring very good juju and vibes when you provide help.
I think it's my karma. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing a good deed.
Right.
Doing a deed, and that is paying off. You know what I mean? And it's paying off in the form of the Red Sox scoring runs and winning ball games. So I've now told my wife, whenever you need help during a Red Sox game, I am there for you. I don't care if I got to miss an inning or 2 or 3 or 7 or 30 seconds of it. I'm there to help you.
You just love the help.
I'm a man of the people. What can I say? I'm a giver. You know what I mean?
That you are, my friend. Keep on giving. Keep on helping out.
Valdez hits a double and scores 2. 6-4 Red Sox, baby. Came right back from that break, and boom, we take the lead. Where I love hearing Hamilton's mic up, right? So he's mic'd up all night, and he ended up saying that he completely forgot that he was mic'd up. And again, this is such a coaching thing. But there was a play earlier in the year where Devers went after a ball that he shouldn't have. It went by him, and it went by little Raffy, and we had talked about how that was a miscommunication. I think it was the Rays series that had happened. But all you hear from David Hamilton, and this is what I love, David Hamilton sits there, and you hear him mic'd up. He goes, Raffy, they're moving, baby. They're moving. Get ready. And it's just little things like that. That infield communication is so big. Like, oh shit, you're right, it's 3-2, the runners are on the move here, or whatever the situation may have been. And it's something little like that I love.
That little extra finer detail stuff that we were talking about earlier. Don't be afraid to lock in on a guy for not only the pregame, but an entire game and see what he does. Not only if you're at the game, but if you're watching on TV.
Amen. Amen. David fucking Hamilton. Remember his goddamn name. 8-4 Red Sox. It's a 2-run homer.
Good Lord. He's
Good
on it too.
Lord. Duran gets hosed at home, but you know what? I fucking love it. That's a chance you take. All right.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure this was the infield play. It was like a ground ball in the infield or whatever, and he like went from second to home on it or something like that. He ended up getting hosed at home, but you know what? It's a chance you take with a green light runner like that. And this is why they're not having them steal bases as much. They want him to stay healthy for 162, but it's also for moments like these where he can turn it on and go.
Big time. And I'll take that.
Bryson Stott doubles, makes it 8-5. Shows how important David Hamilton's 2-run homer it was, because instead of being 6-5, it's now 8-5. This was such a side note, but they talked about it on the broadcast. Apparently, so we had talked about what Kenley was like going into a second inning of work. Was it more like, Cora, give me the fucking ball, I'm going back out there? Or was it like, Kenley, listen, man, I'm going to need one more out of you. And he was just like, today I don't feel like doing anything. You know what I mean? It could have gone either way right there. Apparently, Kenley said, Cora, AC, if you need me, I can go too. Those were his exact words. My response to that, okay, fat Jesus. Love it. Sox win 8-6 with a shaky save from Kenley. Kenley ended up letting up a home run. But they win 8-6. Pivetta, again, I already said what he did. Bullpen, though, after that, 5 innings pitched, 1 run on 3 hits and 4 Ks. He opposed Christopher Sanchez, who's been great all year. He went 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks. Getting him out in 4 innings was huge. Hamilton continues to rake, 2 for 4 with a homer and 2 RBIs. Duran, 3 for 5 with a double and 2 RBIs. Everyone in the lineup got a hit except for Bob and Westbrook, who pinch hit. Game 3, game 69 of the year, just happened not too long ago, ladies and gentlemen. We have our own Tanner Houck versus Aaron Nola.
What a matchup.
What a matchup. I generally believed this was going to be like a 1-0, 2-1 type game here. Yep. First note, Galt. I'm a little aggressive. For some reason, I don't care what you do offensively, but if you suck defensively, I apparently have you have a target on your back with me.
You want them shipped off to Indonesia if they make one defensive
mistake. They're going to the Dubai League, essentially. Get Valdez the fuck out of here. Jesus Christ. And this was a ground ball right from Schwarber, right up the middle. Now, listen. If Valdez actually fielded this ball, he would have had 0 shot because he was almost in center field. Well, not center field, but he was on the outfield grass behind second base. And we know that he just fucking sucks defensively. So if he fielded this, Schwarber was safe no matter what. However, on this ball, David Hamilton's going to take a route on it, but so is Valdez, who has no fucking business being there other than being behind Hamilton. So if it gets by him, he could be there to get the ball. Okay, what does he do? Almost runs right into David Hamilton, so they both had a back off. There was a miscommunication, not even between the two of them, between fucking Valdez, and the ball just goes right between them, right up the middle for a single.
Good.
I was not happy about that.
Dumbfounded. But we'll take us back.
Yeah, I mean, he's making up for it with the bat a little bit, so I can't be too mad. The get the Valdez the fuck out of here again. It's really a defensive thing with these guys. That put targets on their back. It's your default. It is. It's my default response for a really shitty play that something shitty that happened defensively. I love Nick Castellanos. Nothing has happened, but always love this guy. Loved him when he was supposed to be a University of Miami commit. Got drafted in 2010 by the Tigers. He was a third baseman coming up. I was in a fantasy baseball league with my dad at this time. I was like fucking 16 years old, and I was like, this kid is going to be fucking legit. And he's had a really good career, but come up as a third baseman. He's got the fucking slick back Italian hair. He's got the big Italian nose. He's got the mustache. His little kid's a bat and ball boy sometimes. Cool. Like, he hits dingers and he high fives his kid, but he also holds his kid accountable. There was one play, I think it was last year, like during the playoffs, where the kid didn't go to get the bat. He might have been like watching the home run or something. And like, you've seen that he's not really yelling, but he's like, you gotta go get the fucking bat first. Like, that's your job first. I'll hug you afterwards. It was kind of funny. Anyways,
dynamics, very cool.
Yeah. So this one was a little premature, but it was a question for you. Would you rather Aaron Nola's knuckle curve or Tanner Houck's slider?
Tanner Houck's slider, come on.
Especially after tonight when there was like 18 home runs hit off of Nola's knuckle curve, but he does have filthy fucking knuckle curve.
No, it sucks.
Garrett Stubbs seems like a vibes guy. He hits a single and he gets a first base, and this dude just sits there and goes like, he's just sitting there like,
oh yeah,
fucking shaking it.
He was all in on their little shit.
He's got the little mustache that doesn't seem to fit him right and stuff like that. He just kind of seems like a vibes guy. And I do remember last year in the playoffs, I don't even think he fucking played a game in the championship series into the World Series or championship series, and he's out here talking shit to the Braves. Like, it was fucking electric, and he really had no place to say what he said, and I forgot what it was, but like, just shit talking him from a guy who's an absolute bench quad A type player. But you know what? He seems like a vibes guy.
He does not look like a catcher. He looks like your game 6 deep in a 3-day tournament in like your 12U team, and you have your 5th string catcher in there. He does not look like your prototypical body type of your professional catcher at all. It looks like you're throwing in like a second baseman or like your utility guy outfielder. Throw catch. Yeah, man, it just looks so out of place.
It really does, and like, but again though, like he seems like the kid that like any playing time he gets, he's just going to absolutely enjoy it.
100%.
So to harp on Valdez more, there's something about Valdez I just don't like. I don't know what it is. Could be the defense. Could be the fact he has no neck. Don't care. But he did just hit a double. I don't know. I don't know. Something about him. I don't know.
Hey man, he can look however the hell he wants to look, appearance-wise, and his neck can be as short as it wants. I am in love with how smooth that swing looks and how productive he has been since he's been called up. I'll take that all day, any day.
I know, and this is a terrible take, and I will probably get shredded for it, and I deserve to be, because he's providing offensively. However, it goes to show how bad he was to start the season with us, because he's been on an absolute tear. He's batting like 308 or 310 since he came up, even more so now probably after this game, and he's still batting below 200. Like, that's how bad he was when he first came up here.
Man, that's bad.
That's what I'm saying. Greasing palms and hitting bombs, slick dick Reese doubles and drives in a run, 1-0 Red Sox. Nola would be a perfect Red Sox pitcher. Uses his curveball third most in the league. I could just see him in a Red Sox uniform and just thriving with Andrew Bailey here in Boston. Get him the fuck out of here. We don't want him.
And that is his best pitch this year for batting average against. They were talking about it on the broadcast. In fairness, though, his four seam it's not. Tonight.
I was gonna say it's not flat. Like, that fucking thing has
because of his little slot ski. Because of his little slot ski, it's got some ASR on it, which can play for him. He also throws a two seam.
Oh, I know he does, but like his two seam and his four seam, you can see that his two seam fucking has arms that run like crazy. But like, even his four seam got that fucking movement to it.
Yeah, it's not pure backspin, that's for sure.
No. Dom Smith singles and drives in a run, 2-0 Red Sox. This team loves doubles. Little Raffy hits one off the monster, off the curveball. Good game planning by the staff here to sit there and know that this dude is going to hammer his curveball. Like hunt. Obviously, we're hunting fastballs, but know that that's coming most of the time. Be ready to hit it. You're going to start hearing this a lot. Jaron Duran doubles, scores 2, 4-0 Red Sox, bottom of the second. Nola struggling with fastball location and his curveball is getting hammered. It's a recipe for disaster if you can't locate that fastball and you can only throw that curveball for strikes, and we are absolutely teeing off on it right now. Not good. I just thought this was funny. The broadcast goes to Breslow, right? And you have Obi and Loomer sitting there and Alex Spear. And they're talking about, like, contracts right now. Like, well, Halik's only 28. Like, he could get something that looks like this. And they're starting to talk about money and contracts. And, like, you just hear Loomer go, Breslow's going to fucking love – well, he didn't say fucking. Breslow's going to love coming back and hearing this. Just funny. Them talking about money and, spending it. It was great.
Hey, wait, let me know when you're at the 9th inning or 8th inning so I can talk to you about another funny Lou and Obi moment.
I wonder if it's going to be the one that I have in mind. I have 2 in mind, but we'll see. Every manager's signal for a replay is different, and it's quite interesting to watch him. So, obviously, we watch the Red Sox every night. So, what's Cora's sign for when he wants to go for a replay? Yet, they're not going to do one. No. Well, yes, he does that. But then he's waiting for the call. He gets the call. They're like, nope, don't do it. What does he do?
What's he do?
Oh, I thought you knew. He does this every time. He takes his finger and just goes like this every time. And then obviously if he wants it, he goes the head. But like Craig Counsell, right? Craig Counsell, when we played the Cubs, was like this. And then he went, we're good. Like, oh, sorry, my hand's over here. He went like this, and then he would turn the thumbs up. You have other guys that are like, go ahead. You know what I mean? But like, just, I don't know why. It's just funny to see everybody's thing. But Cora does the same thing every single time. Yep. You would think they would have a universal, like, thumbs up, thumbs down. Maybe I had no idea. But no, just everybody's little style. I actually sent you this screenshot here. And I said, bases loaded for Schwarber right now. I think at this point, Hal could maybe let up a hit, a walk, something like that. Bases get loaded. Never good. Got to pound him off speed. Next thing you know, it's a 3-1 count to Kyle Schwarber. Not ideal. What does he hit best? He hits fastballs best. But what do we know Tanner Houck's best pitch is? It's his slider. I said scary count, he's hunting fastball, but instead he gets a slider. It was kind of like middle in a little bit, low middle in.
To get me over one in that count.
Yep. And it's off. It's off the center field wall. 3-run score, 4-3 Red Sox, top of the 4th. Things are starting to get scary here. Before I come back to this, oh no, that is the top of the 4th. We're not there yet. First night I've ever seen Houck not seem like he's the baddest motherfucker in the stadium. Like, there was one point where he's sitting on the mound and he's going like this. And I've never seen him do that before. Like, there are times where he gets the ball and he just goes like, and then delivers. But, like, he was kind of like, all right, come on, baby. We can do this. And it was the first time I've not seen it.
He was trying to pump himself up or reset himself again.
Yep, which I love. I'm there for. Like, it absolutely do that. But just the first time I've seen him just not be the baddest motherfucker on the mound.
Astute observation.
Hamilton singles, scores Funkle Dom, 5-3 Sox. And the next thing you know, Tyler O'Neill, he ends up homering. It's 8-3 Red Sox. And he's 7 for 13 since returning from the IL. Welcome fucking back. The momentum we needed heading into New York.
You missed that massive 3-1 call for the walk on Jaron Duran.
Oh, so actually, I did mean to do this, and this happens to come. I talk about the second one that they missed. So what led to all this, and this is a great call out on your behalf here, it was what, a 3-2 count, correct?
It was 3-1.
3-1 count, and Aaron Nola goes high outside fastball, absolutely a strike without a doubt. Duran starts walking back towards the dugout. He hears ball 4, and he's like, huh? Excuse me? starts taking off his stuff, and he heads to first base. This is all with 2 outs now, so Duran gets on. And then after that, the floodgates just open up. David Hamilton singles. Dom scores on that one. And then that sets up the Tyler O'Neill home run. And this, like, that right there would have put it at 3-2, and anything's possible after that. It was almost like a Laz Diaz-esque call there, just obviously not in
It was
ALCS.
nice that it turned in our favor this time.
Exactly. And we very rarely see this, I feel like, where it goes in our favor.
We just don't seize the opportunities when these rare instances happen for it to
Very
be
true.
talked about.
Very true. So Tyler O'Neill homers. It's 8-3 Red Sox. Then Lou sits there, right? And he's on the broadcast, and Lou goes, 1 run? 2 runs? That's not fun. 8 runs? Now that's fun. And all
Obi shows some personality, and he's like, how about 3 runs, Lo?
Yep.
Hey, how do you like that? Oh, it was great. They actually showed some personality in that. They were saying they would have had fun the last 2 games and 2 nights.
But that's what I'm saying.
They have that word in a while.
We haven't. Now, granted, obviously the Red Sox have won. They've won those 2 games, but like Lou and Obi just have such a connection when they are broadcasting together. Like, they vibe off each other so well. And part of me thinks it's because like Lou's got more experience, I think, than Will does. Right? We haven't seen Yuke in a little while, but like Lou, I think, can joke about life experiences, can talk about the game, and can also like be a play-by-play guy if he needs to be. And I think OB just respects that. They just have such a good back and forth, to the point there was one time they were talking about Saturday. Lou's like, yeah, I got Saturday off. I'm going to the beach or something like that. And OB is like, well, I'll be on the call on ESPN radio. And Lou goes, I'll be listening. And OB goes, you better not be. You enjoy your day, man. Like, go do whatever you want. Go fishing. Go to the beach. Go golfing. Like, you're a busy man. Enjoy it. And then he goes, you will not be listening. And that's just something that I love to see between them. Like, go enjoy your day off. Yeah, very organic. Like, go enjoy your fucking day off. Don't listen to me on the fucking broadcast.
Seriously, man. But Lou's a 162 guy like us, so
Yep.
he's going to be listening regardless.
I've never seen a pissed off Reese McGuire before, and let me tell you, I am here for it. Gregory Soto comes in, drills him on the left elbow with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, is geared up to load the swing. Pitch comes in, drills him right on the elbow, and he's pissed. He's walking down the line, and he is just eyeing Gregory Soto. And I don't think it was intentional by any means. No reason to get really mad other than, like, fuck, that hurt. You know what I mean? But he mean-mugged him, and I love that out of Reese.
I loved it, too. He was pissed because he's like, fuck, man, you're a professional. You shouldn't be missing this unintentionally. This bad. And not only did Gregory Soto do that one time, the next at-bat, the next pitch, he almost kills Dom Smith right after. On the very next pitch. Or 2 pitches
very
after.
Next. But that's also why Soto has like a 5 ERA this year. He has not been able to command the baseball.
Yeah, and he has like 13 walks in 19 innings or something crazy like that.
Yeah. This umpire is absolutely awful, but at least it's going for the Red Sox. 2 blown calls on Duran in 2 straight at-bats that should have been strike 3. This one should have been strike 3. Did not call it. Just terrible. But then immediately after that, though, it was the next pitch. Gregory Soto dots up a low and inside fastball. Duran swings. My next note is, I love when players yell, fuck, after an at-bat, and you hear it clear as day. Duran just goes, fuck, because he knew he should have absolutely pissed on that ball.
Yeah, that was right in his wheelhouse. He knew he missed a big opportunity there.
Shocker. Screen just goes black on SN360. I have like 3 more notes here. Last one that I want to mention to you, though. What's better for you, a bat flip or a bat drop when a player hits a home run?
I like the drop. It's more emphatic.
I think so, too. Like, the bat flips get crazy and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, there's a time and place for it, like Jose Bautista's when he hit that fucking home run and a few others. But, like, when you just sit there, hit a home run, maybe take a couple steps and just drop that bat, or you hit it and just put it right down right there, I love that. I just think it's classy.
A little less showmanship. A little less showman. More professionalism behind it, yeah.
As Ron Burgundy once said, you stay classy, San Diego.
Yes, indeed.
Swinging is all about going 0 to 60 as fast as you can. And from watching a lot of these swings here, Tyler O'Neill might be the best at that. Like, his load is so simple, but when he decides to swing, it is fast, it is quick, and
It's snappy.
It's snappy. All right. Schnippity schnappity. But yeah, it's cool when you actually watch what players do and what they're supposed to do and watch some of this stuff, and I love it. Last note here, Valdez doubles, scores Devers, 9-3. Get thrown out 2 nights in a row trying to stretch a double into a triple. I have to believe that's him and not Huddy telling him to go 3. I just think he wants a triple so, like, he wants it so bad.
There's got to be something going on in that clubhouse with if you hit a triple.
Yeah, right? I don't know. Maybe they get a free boob afterwards. I don't know.
Yeah, they get a few free booby touch.
Free little booby touch. So I'm pretty much in the 9th here. Was that
All
what
right,
you
yeah,
wanted to mention about them? Or okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember on the broadcast, but there was two plays in the same inning. Kyle Schwarber hits very weird, talking about bat speed. He has one of the best bat speeds in the game, and in live time it looks like he goes into slow-mo just to make contact with the ball and push it down the third baseline, where our whole entire infield is shifted on the right side of the infield. So Rafael Devers just like picks it up. He's like, fuck, all right. Then next at-bat, ground ball double play. Then the next at-bat is Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper does the same thing Kyle Schwarber does. Rafael Devers shows like anger, and he's like yelling "Coño Mamaguevo," and like cussing out in Spanish on the field. Bryce Harper's giggling with Dom Smith at first base, like, bro, like, is he really thinking like I'm doing that on purpose? That's a clown move. Come on, dude. Like, really? Come on. And then you just hear Lou Merlone like talking about how Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper are known for having some of the best top elite bat speed, hand speeds in the game, and top exit velocities, and how they have never, ever, probably since they were on the ESPN covers in high school, have hit a ball that soft off the bat before until tonight, and they did it in the same inning. And Lou's like, that's not their style of play, but me, I would always hit balls 54 miles an hour. That was my game, or something like that. And it was just so perfect. And it goes back to that point of just like how great Lou, not only like Lou and Obi are as a combo, but how Lou is specifically as an announcer and broadcaster, not only on the radio, but in person. Just so he's a bigger audience, because he's just like so unapologetically himself. He isn't afraid to make fun of himself. Like he perfectly owns that. He has a very good baseball IQ and intellect from multiple different lenses. And then he is a relationship builder. He's friends with literally everybody that he sits down with and talks baseball with. It's insane. So like that whole entire occasion in that game with the Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper little swan singles down the third base line just brought me so much joy and happiness for that 2-minute span. It was just great. Something very minor in the game that I didn't want overlooked tonight.
No, I agree with it. And like what makes those moments fun is the Red Sox were winning. Like if we were down and those were happening, it would have been a whole different probably discussion on the broadcast there. But it was funny. Because, like, I do remember it exactly. As he sits there and he goes, that's a 45-mile-an-hour exit velocity. He goes, that's what I used to do. Like, Harper shouldn't be doing that. Like, I used to hit the ball that hard.
Exactly, man.
Just digging into it. But, like, to your point, how great he is with, like, relationship building, his knowledge of the game and just how he broadcasts, but it's also his delivery. Like, he says things at the right time and perfectly. Like, again, there's been plenty of times where Middlebrooks has said something and it's gone right over OB's head, or like OB just disregards it. Like Lou just has this delivery that OB just eats right up.
Eats it up every single time.
Anywho, Sox win 9-3. They take the series. Houck goes 6 innings pitch, 8 hits, 3 runs, 5 Ks, 0 walks. Brad Keller, 3 innings pitch, 2 hits, 1 walk, 3 Ks. It was impressive. Tyler O'Neill hits his 12th homer of the year. Duran went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Hamilton 1 for 5. What else we got here? O'Neill 2 for 5, Devers 2 for 4, Yoshida 1 for 5, Valdez 2 for 4, Reese 1 for 3, Dom 1 for 2, Sedane Raphael, a little Raffy 2 for 4. It was just a fucking bloodbath. Offense was boiling. It was exciting. And let me tell you, the boys get to pick a SoxHub Series MVP. It's been a minute. The boys get to play some music.
It's about goddamn time. I missed the song.
All right, Trotta. During this time here,
it's a couple different options, man.
There certainly is. Who do you think?
You got to look at 2 games that we won.
Mm-hmm.
Duran had a 3 for 5 game in game 2 with a double, 2 RBIs. Tonight, he started off the game with a double. Next at bat also has a double. Multiple runs. Something that you look for in a leadoff guy. Everything that you dream of in that Red Sox leadoff spot. On the other hand, you got David Hamilton, who came up in a massive spot and hit that big-time home run and went 2 for 4 in game 2 with 2 RBIs. He was very quiet in game 3. No one really on the pitching staff kind of stuck out to me. A notable is the home run that Tyler O'Neill hit tonight. That was an absolute piss missile, but the Red Sox were already up at that point, and they would have won the game regardless if he hit that home run. So that doesn't hold much merit to me. My pick here is going to have to be Angry Lizard Jarren Duran. The stuff that he has been doing here, that play real good. Jarren Duran is my
We're going to hit that one more time.
Because of just how electric he has been, not only in this series for the Red Sox, but the whole entire year at the leadoff spot for the Boston Red Sox. This man continues to produce at an elite all-star level, and this was his mic drop game, mic drop series, just right in time for when that all-star voting ballot comes out to the public. He decides to start going off and win yet another SoxHub Series MVP vote from Trotty Too Hotty himself. I really wanted to give it to David Hamilton, but he didn't really do much in this game, in this finale of Game 3, when Jarren Duran kind of just finalized it and mic dropped all over the baseball field today, even having an unbelievable catch in left field on the edge of the monster.
So I feel like, to your point, there definitely could have been a few people to have picked here, and I'm crunching a few numbskis here, like Valdez, as much as I don't really like him. Excuse my French there, but like he had quite a few doubles, quite a few big hits that got the boys rolling there a little bit. Damn. All right. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I really want to go David Hamilton. Like, just the 2-run homer to make it 5-8. That was huge, because again, next thing you know, they end up scoring a run and made it 6-5. If Kenley's if that had held and Kenley let up that homer, next thing you know, it's 6-6. Now we're talking a whole different series here potentially. That 2-run homer like set that tone that second game was going to be a win. All right. First game, 2 for 4, drives in the lone RBI. 1 for 5 in the series finale there, but still played pretty good defense. I really want to give it to him, but I think I got to go Duran here. Like, just the hustle, everything, like to your point, what he's done all season, the defensive plays that he's made. 6 for 13 this series with a couple RBIs and multiple runs. I don't have the OPSs up here to see what they would be, but and I'm sure probably Hamilton's higher because of the double and the home run that he's hit and stuff like that. I really think it could, like, I want to pour a shot of some Bullet Slider whiskey for David Hamilton in this one so that he can have a little taste of it. But, like, I just want to give an entire bottle of Jarren Duran, I think. So, you know what? We're going to go Jarren Duran for your SoxHub Series MVP.
Let's go. Let's go.
And I think that's his first one, right?
No, he's won one. He's won
All
one.
right. Either way, we'll give him a round of applause.
Wrap it up for the Angry Lizard himself. Keep doing Angry Lizard shit, bud. What's
Keep
out of you?
doing that shit, buddy. Let me tell you, I'm here for it. I love it. All right, that brings us to our SoxHub Series MVP, Jarren Duran. I don't believe we had discussed that there's not going to be a TTPP this week. Like those, just because we won a series does not mean there's one that got to be handed out. You know what I mean? Like there could be a case made for maybe some bullpen arms. Boozer had a really good series this go around. I think he had 2 innings pitched, 4 Ks, 0 earned runs. He looked pretty good. And also got the save against the White Sox even before that, but that's not that series. Some of the bullpen's arms, Weiser looked pretty good and stuff like that. But, I don't think that there was a pitching performance that really stood out to me out here. And I'm pretty sure you agree with me, considering we did not go TTPP. Not good enough. What is that from? There's a thing where, like, a dude's either cracking a whip or something like that, and he goes, not good enough.
I have no idea.
I have no idea either, and that's going to bug me now, and I'm probably not going to remember till, like, next fucking podcast, and you're going to hear me bring it up.
Series look ahead.
Take it away, Trotta. This is you.
This is Series 2 of the season. If you've been listening this whole time from the beginning of the podcast, you will understand that. We have our first series of the year versus the New York Yankees. It's a 3-game set. Friday through Sunday at good old Fenway Pack on Joyzy Street against the Yankees. Friday night, 6:30 start. They moved this bitch up 45 minutes because of that Celtics versus Mavs basketball game that's going on. Apparently, they're in the championship in the NBA, and people want to watch that shit instead of the Red Sox Yankees first game of the year.
Losers.
Whatever. Fucking losers. But, it's Brian Bayo versus Luis Gil. Luis Gil has been having an unbelievable year. We'll get into that shortly. Game 2 on Saturday is going to be on Fox at 7:15. This is being dubbed the Trotty game. My lovely wife got us tickets right around Christmas time to this game. So I'm very much looking forward to this tilt on Saturday night. That will be Carlos Rodon for the New York Yankees, lefty, versus Cooper $1 Million Baby Criswell for the Boston Red Sox. On Sunday, 7:10 p.m. start. It will be on ESPN, sports fans. It is Marcus Stroman versus Cutter Crawford in the finale. To break this deeper down for you, Brian Bayo going up to Game 1 again. In 2024, he's 6-3 now with a 4.78 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, 51 Ks, and 58 and a third. The last month, he's had 5 starts. He's 2-2 with a 6.75 ERA, a 1.7 WHIP, 24 Ks, 4 home runs in 26 and 2/3 innings. Too small of a, Luis Gil in 2024 is 8-1, 2.04 ERA, 0.93 WHIP, 90 Ks and 75 innings, a front runner for your Cy Young in the AL currently. Gil, the last month, has had 5 starts. He's 4-0 in those 5 starts with a 1.41 ERA, a .72 WHIP, 42 Ks, 2 homers in 32 innings. There's too small of a sample size for Gil for the Red Sox. Duran's 1 for 2. Devers is 0 for 2. Ref Snyder's 0 for 3. The rest have yet to face Luis Gil. For the Yankees facing Bayo in the career, Glaber is 429 and 14 at-bats. Volpe is 405 at-bats. And LeMahieu is 246. That scares me production-wise against Bayo. The rest have yet to face him or are batting over. In Game 2, we have Carlos Rodon versus Cooper Criswell, like I already said. Criswell's 3-3 with a 4.13 ERA, 1.21 WHIP, 43 Ks, 48 innings on the year. The last month, 5 starts, he's 1-2. Similar to Bayo, he's north of a 6 ERA at a 6.45, a 1.43 WHIP, 18 Ks and 22 and a third with 2 home runs given up. Rodon on the flip is 9-2 on the year, 2.93 ERA, 1.05 WHIP, 74 Ks and 80 innings. The last month he has been dominant. In 6 starts, he's a perfect 6-0, 2.19 ERA, a .81 WHIP, 31 Ks and 37 innings, but giving up 4 home runs in 6 starts. Small sample size for the New York Yankees versus Cooper Criswell. Verdugo is 1-for-1 with an RBI, and Grisham is 1-for-1 against him. The rest have yet to face the $1 million baby in their career. On the flip side, Dahlback and Lil Rafi both have home runs against Carlos Rodon in their career. McGuire's batting .500, Rob's batting .429, Rafi Devers is batting .250 versus him in his career. So that's pretty promising to me, despite his great year and great start. The finale, like I said, ESPN, Game 3 is Stroman versus Cutter. Cutter on the year has dropped all the way down to a 2-6 record with now a 3.47 ERA, a 1.18 WHIP, 79 Ks and 80 and a third. The last month he's gone 6 starts, 0-5, 5.82 ERA, a 1.32 WHIP, 33 Ks in 34 innings, 6 homers in 6 starts. Bobby Dahlback is 2-for-2, and Connor Wong is 1-for-2. Outside of that, 0-for or have yet to face Marcus Stroman for the Boston Red Sox lineup. On the flippity flop, Stanton is 2-for-6 versus old cut pace, and the rest of the lineup for the Yankees is batting .200 or 0, or have yet to face Cutter in their career. That'll do it for your little roundup here. To break it down for my picks and predictions for this series. Game 1, the Luis Gil versus Brian Bayo outing. Game 1, that'll set the tone for the series. I'm really torn on this. Brian Bayo had a conniption fit on the mound to exit against the White Sox last time out and got reamed and he got called out by Alex Cora. Alex Cora said that it was a red flag. Wasn't impressed by any means. Brian Bayo needs to prove that he is a mature major league professional pitcher. And what better time to do it in the first game of the year versus the New York Yankees and try and match a guy that is doing it at an all-star clip, at a Cy Young clip to start the year in Luis Gil. Luis Gil has never pitched in this sort of environment before. I know you have said that Fenway has been a tourist attraction for other fan bases, but I don't think that will happen for a game where the Red Sox are clawing for a wild card spot. They can taste it against the New York Yankees, who haven't been this good in the Lord knows how long to start a season. I feel like the Red Sox fan base can be loud enough and be scrappy enough, sort of like the 10th man on the field, and make this an impactful piece in a negative way for Luis Gil, similar to how it impacts Garrett Cole when he's at Fenway Park. Game 1 goes to the Red Sox. They're going to follow the hot streak of winning the last 2 games against the Philadelphia Phillies, the best team in baseball outside of the Yankees, and they're going to steal Game 1, despite many people probably picking the Yankees all day long by multiple runs. Brian Bayo is going to step up after getting to his lowest of lows against the White Sox for his season and arguably his career by emotion standpoint. Game 2, the Trotty game. You got Carlos Rodon having an unbelievable year, unbelievable stretch of the last 6 starts. First $1 million baby Cooper Criswell, who has been not a $1 million baby. He's been a 10-cent baby with a 6.45 ERA the last month. That being said, same situation. It's a Saturday night. It's a nationally televised game, unlike Friday. Fenway faithful is going to come out for that game, especially if the Red Sox win that Game 1 and steal that against Luis Gil with Brian Bayo on the mound. And this team can hit Carlos Rodon rather well. Carlos Rodon is going to lay an egg, and he's not going to get out of the 5th inning. He's not going to make it 5. Cooper Criswell is going to go 4 or 5 strong innings for us, and we're going to get the win in Game 2 here, and we're going to win 4 straight out of nowhere against 2 really good teams. And in that finale, Marcus Stroman versus Cutter Crawford, the ESPN game. Cutter kind of got back to himself going a quality start. And if he can do that again, he's either matching or one-upping Marcus Stroman here. But I don't think that the Yankees are going to walk out of here being swept. I think Marcus Stroman, being new to the New York Yankees...
Really thought you were going there.
No, he's a big game guy, man, and he wanted to join the Yankees because of these sort of instances and these sort of games, these sort of opportunities. Marcus Stroman's a motherfucker. He loves playing that villain card, I bet. He loves that spotlight on him. And he's going to have the opportunity to save the Yankees from a potential Red Sox sweep. And I think Marcus Stroman is going to pitch his nuts off, his little height don't measure heart nuts off in comparison to Cutter Crawford, and they're going to walk out of there on the finale day with a win, but not with the series, just that singular game. The Red Sox are going to walk out of that series going against Toronto, winning 4 of their last 5.
Wow, that is a bold prediction against one of the best offenses in baseball.
I also have a special prediction outside of the series. The benches are going to clear at some point during this series. It's either going to be Game 1 or Game 2, but it's going to clear. And I feel like the man that's going to be center stage of it all is going to be Alex Verdugo. Because of the statements he said, I know we don't have a ridiculous amount of returners that have played with Verdugo for a long period of time on the pitching staff. Outside of, like, for the starters, it would be Brian Bayo or Cutter Crawford that would plunk his ass. I can see Brian Bayo having that dog in him and be like, I'll fucking do that all day. He's talking shit about my manager, our manager. Are you serious after everything he did for him? Plus, this guy was a fucking asshole and a prick in the dugout. I know I'm an asshole sometimes in the field, but this guy was a douche in the clubhouse and didn't give it effort. At least I'm giving effort, acting like an asshole every now and then. I'll plunk this dude all day. And then can you see Alex Verdugo fucking walking out there trying to act all tough, starting shit, and then the bench is clear?
I can already picture it, like him walking to first base, Wong holding him back, and him just with the fucking head up like, you gonna really fucking hit me? You really gonna fucking hit me? And then trying to act like the tough guy. I could 100% see it, and I hope it happens because I need that type of fucking energy.
I want it on Saturday when I'm there front and center, but Cooper Criswell won. He's not going to do that.
You're gonna jump the fucking railing and get in the middle of it.
Oh, I'll be brawling. I'll be ripping his chain off, dude. Chains off. But no, seriously, like, Cooper Criswell's not the man to do that, so I don't think it happens Saturday. Sunday, I can see that happening with Cutter Crawford. I think Cutter Crawford's a guy that would do that in a heartbeat.
What did Coop say at the beginning of the year?
I'll do anything that you need for this team to help win and to support this process that we're on in this philosophy. And everything that Alex Cora has done for him to help out his career this early on in this season, what better way to repay him than plunking a guy that's been talking endless shit to reporters and news outlets about his time in Boston and his time with the best manager in the league, Alex Cora.
That's what I'm saying. All right, so you got 2
But yeah, what's your prediction?
I got a Sox sweep.
No, you don't. No shit.
Because let me fucking tell you, I got a Red Sox sweep, and I feel it in my testicles, and they are flowing, baby. I'm telling you, I wasn't going to call it until I feel it, but I feel it. Brian Bayo absolutely owns the fucking Yankees. Devers owns the Yankees. Carlos Rondon is due for some regression. Lewis Heel, whatever the fuck his name is going to be proven a fraud. All right? Marcus Stroman, fuck his tiny dick energy. Get the fuck out of Fenway, because Cutter Crawford is going to have that fucking start that we've been waiting for. He's going to come in there, shove it right down the fucking throats of the goddamn New York Yankees. You think their fucking offense is good? You haven't met our fucking pitching staff. Long story short, the Sox are going to fucking sweep. They're going to make a fucking statement right here, right now, because it is the goddamn New York Yankees. All right? Verdugo's coming into town. You got that. You already harped on that. You got Juan Soto, who's the perfect fucking villain. It's the Yankees, man. I mean, I know the rivalry is not the same, but it is coming back. They are leaps and bounds better than us this year. Judge is on pace to do something historic. So is Juan Soto. Together, they're on pace to do something that we haven't seen since Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. And let me tell you, what goes up must come down. The Red Sox are about to fucking thrive. I think that they've had this series marked on their calendar since day fucking one. And again, so just to back this up, Brian Bale versus the Yankees is 2-2, all right, with 31 innings pitched, a 1.45 ERA, 25 hits, 9 runs, only 5 earned, 25 Ks, 9 walks, okay, 0 home runs allowed. Luis Gil, you had already mentioned, there's not much stuff on him. Carlos Rodon versus the Red Sox, okay, not as good as Bale, but 35 innings pitched, 3.34 ERA, 2-3, 31 hits though, 16 runs. 8 home runs he's allowed against the Red Sox. 35 innings pitched. He does have 44 strikeouts, though, with 11 walks. He's a fraud. He's due for regression, and it is going to come this series in full fucking force. I think we put up 24 fucking runs in 3 goddamn games. That's aggressive. That's aggressive. But let me tell you, Coop is going to go out there and shove. Bayo is going to shove. Cutter is going to shove. David Hamilton, welcome to the fucking New York, not welcome to the Yankees, but David Hamilton, meet the New York Yankees. Boom. He's going to go fucking off. Angry Lizard, we haven't seen him fucking angrier than this fucking series. It is a goddamn sweep waiting to happen. This is the turn. This is the run that we've wanted. The World Series is back on.
God damn it, I love it. I love the energy. I fucking love the optimism. I love it because you said a couple podcasts ago you weren't going to be a individual that's going to call sweeps every single podcast. It's only when you feel it deep within your bones and loins. And that lasted quite some time. That lasted about a month.
Maybe about 2 series.
Three series.
Well, we haven't called one in a while, but your credit, yes.
And you had opportunities to, and you hung strong, and that's what makes this feel that much more real, and why I want to kind of switch my thought for the finale, but I'm not going to. I think that this is going to be a really good step in the right direction. Here. I want it, I do, but I personally don't feel it in my bones. I love that you feel it in yours. And I really hope that they can get it done, but it scares me with Cutter. It scares me that last game, but I'm here for it, man. I'm all here for it.
I find it ironic that you pick a sweep against the worst team in the league, and I choose 3 out of 4, and then I pick a sweep against the best team in the league, and you choose 2 out of 3.
Go figure, man.
Go fucking figure. But you know what though? I do genuinely feel it. Is there a chance we lose some of these games or get swept? Absolutely. There's a chance every series that we get swept or lose a game. Let me tell you, I don't care what the odds are. The odds were not good in 04 when we were down 3-0 and we came back and did that shit. Okay, I understand this is not 04. I'm making that abundantly clear. I understand that. But there's just something when the Yankees come to town where we just play a little bit better. To your point, Bayo had a terrible start last time. Probably his worst emotional outbreak that we've seen in his professional career. But guess what? He fucking nuts up when he pitches against the Yankees. I'm very much so, this is appointment fucking television for me this weekend. I don't care what's going on. I am dropping everything and I am watching every single fucking pitch because I fully believe it will be a sweep. And that the benches will clear. It's not even something I even thought about. And I love that you had mentioned it because I am here for it. I hope Verdugo gets plunked on the back with a nice either Coop Kriz 88-mile-an-hour fucking 2-seam or Cutter fucking 95-mile-an-hour just right on the back. Fuck you.
I can't wait for it, man. I can feel it. I can see that happening all day long.
all
Could be
day
too
long.
poetic, especially with 2 out of the 3 games being on national TV.
Absolutely. But that now brings us to a new segment.
Oh,
That was
How
not
are
what
ya?
I wanted to hit, but it kind of
that
bumped a little
was
bit.
fucking funky.
Now, whoa.
Whoa!
Anyways, new little
What
segment
the hell
here.
were you gonna play?
I meant to hit transition,
Oh, word. All right.
but ended up hitting this little bad boy.
Yeah, dude.
Anyways, that's the transition or song that automatically comes with this. But anyways, new segment we're introducing here in SoxHub Slip Picks. All right. I feel like we've done pretty good on some bets that we put out there for ourselves or have talked to each other about and hit. So we're going to start introducing some of our favorite plays for the upcoming games and or series matchups that we like. Trotta, take it away. What do you got for us?
All right.
All right.
Number 1, my first pick is going to be a Game 1 win. Red Sox money line, the Brian Bayo versus Luis Gil game. The Red Sox are going to be home dogs with all of that positivity that Mac just shared with you regarding Brian Bayo versus the Boston Red Sox. I would book that all day, ride the hot streak that the Red Sox are on. Number 2, Bayo over on strikeouts. Like I said, he's got to prove he's a grown-ass man with how he acted last outing versus the White Sox. I'll bet on a guy that all these people around him dubbed the next Pedro, especially against the Yankees. Number 3, for Saturday night, I have 2. Bobby Dahlback, anytime home run on Saturday night versus Carlos Rodon. Yup. Will likely be north of plus 500 or better. If you want to play it safe, a Bobby Dahlback 2+ total bases on Saturday night would play as well. Will likely be north of plus 175.
Can I just add on to that real quick and just say, I really hope that happens because of the video you created just for me that I really want to put out there.
And I want to be there in person for Bob's Dingo right there against the New York fucking Yankees. And I texted you and called my shot that is going to happen in the 6th inning to take the lead and to remove Carlos Rodon out of the game.
And I'm actually pretty sure that you said that you would be on top of the dugout with your shirt off if that happened.
No, I said full-blown naked. I said I would be at the Red Sox game on the dugout naked, watching Bobby Dahlback hit a home run in the 6th inning against Carlos Rodon to take him out of the game and give us the lead.
Wow.
My last bet, also for Saturday night, we talked about him earlier, the $1 million baby, Cooper Criswell. This is just tricky because obviously the lines aren't out yet, but Cooper Criswell over on outs recorded. The line will likely be at 12.5 to 13.5 outs. I will take this line and number up to 14.5 outs recorded. Anything 5 innings pitched or more with him, I hate. For you listeners out there that are tough at math, 5 innings pitched, there's 3 outs, 2 pitch an inning. 5 times 3 is 15 outs. That's why I do not like over that 14.5. Okay, anything bigger than 14.5, I'm a no. Okay, because most of his starts have been 4 to 5 innings. Okay, not many have gone north of that 5. And when they have, it's been like a third of an inning. And that's a little too sweaty for me. This will likely be at minus 125, whatever line it will drop at. I can't imagine that it will be much higher than that, like at 175 or 150. I don't see that, but I do see it getting closer to even money right there, especially because of the talent that he's going up against being the New York Yankees.
I like it, to be honest with you. I think you have very good reasoning behind each of these picks here, and to be honest with you, I'm probably going to tell you on these bad boys. And, you know, I'll send you my bet slip once I put it in there.
If you want to be even more conservative because there's a strong likelihood Bobby Dahlbeck is not going to be in the lineup Saturday night to start, and if you're banking on one pinch hit at bat, you go take Zidane Rafaela, little Rafi, for an anytime home run or for 2+ total bases, and you're probably going to get similar odds as Bobby Dahlbeck would if he was in the starting lineup.
I like that. For me, I got one for game 2, and this is the one that I'm kind of looking at here. And I'm looking at Sox money line. I'm looking at the over on the runs, and I'm looking at over on Rondon K's. So I know that's a weird matchup there because over on runs typically means that each starter might be letting up a few runs here, maybe quick hooks and stuff like that. You never know. But I'm banking on Rondon over on K's, but having one of those weird starts where he strikes out a ton of guys, but also lets up a ton of either hits or runs. And I already called the sweep. I firmly believe the Sox are going to win. So taking that money line, I think usually the runs are set at like 8.5 to 7.5, but especially with this Yankees offense with Coop Criswell on the mound, they're going to fucking put it up there. Hammer that over.
Be between 9 and 10.5.
Probably. And you know what? Hammer that over. Because their bullpen, Clay Holmes is still on the IL. Who else is in their bullpen?
Today and almost blew it.
Yep, like their bullpen isn't that great. It's the fact that they just have a great offense. So hammer the over on the runs, hammer Rondon K's, and I say hammer, but bet wisely, bet smartly here. But that's what I'm going to do. Game 3, I'm also taking the money line on the Sox, and I'm taking the over on the runs because I just fully believe that Marcus Stroman is going to throw up a dud. And I think Cutter, knowing what he's done with Juan Soto and Aaron Judge there, might let up a couple homers. You don't know. We don't know. But we could see something like that happen. So game 3, money line, over on runs.
Like it. I'll tail everything other than the finale.
I like that. But that, my friends, is a SoxHub Slip Picks. And, you guys wanted it. We gave you another 2-hour and 10-minute podcast here. But let me ask you got any closing thoughts for me, Trotty?
The evil empire is in town. You know what to do.
Just do it.
Do it!
For me, debuting a new hat. Just came in today. My old Hickory baseball hat. You got the dovetail one
brother.
Right there. I'm an old Hick guy. Always was. And honestly has become my favorite hat the second I put it on. It just fits very nicely forward and backwards. The reason I don't wear hats here in the pod is because I usually don't wear hats well. Like they fit my head weird. Like they're usually like up here or like way too low. The brims never look good. This hat though, tight. Can wear it at any way. Love it.
It looks like you can wear that in multiple different venues and occasions as well. It looks formal enough for you to wear it at a function where it's business casual that you're allowed to wear a hat, But it also looks like you can wear it for a casual podcast, go out for a baseball game.
Go to a brewery in it,
Yep. Go out to the bar, anything.
Anything. But, yeah, that's my closing thought. Got nothing else, really. I'm looking forward to this Yankee series. That's really it. Like, I had this circled. I'm looking forward to it. The start of the season was fucking today, and guess what? It continues tomorrow, and I can't wait.
Me neither, man. Let's hold on tight for the ride.
Fucking man. All right, ladies and gentlemen. See you after the Yankee series.
Godspeed, everybody.
Smooches.